They're actually a great marketing resource. You can pass them along to your marketing team, or even upload them to the App Store to showcase your latest design. You can use them in your documentation or in your tutorials. But more importantly, they can help your localizers get the context they need to provide you with high-quality localization. Let's take a quick example. A simple word, like start in English, could either be a verb, meaning to begin, or it could be a noun and refer to the beginning of an event. While this difference might seem really subtle in English, it can lead to widely different localizations in other languages. Here, we can see it's a noun because it's labeling the starting date. Giving this visual context to your localizers will alleviate the ambiguity and make sure that you get the most accurate localization. Last year, we introduced the Xcode localization catalog. It's a very convenient way to handle localizing both strings and non-string-based resources all in one place. In it, we included a notes directory specifically for you to include contextual information such as screenshots for your localizers. This year, I'm very happy to say that we are automatically including these screenshots for you in the Xcode localization catalog. And all it takes is one single click during the export for localization workflow that you're already using. If you rely on automation to generate your localization catalog, you can simply add the include screenshots argument to your Xcode build export localizations command. You can also customize which screenshots are exported. We made it easy for you to specify which test targets, devices, and languages are exported per localization catalog. But there might be a lot of screenshots for your localizers to come through to see exactly where strings shows on the UI. So, alongside every localized screenshot that we generate, we also generate a metadata plist mapping the strings to the exact location on the screenshots. This plist includes the string IDs, the one that you can find in the xlif, but also the frame information, which is the exact location of the strings on the screenshots. This makes it really easy for localization tools to map the strings to the xlif and highlight them directly on the screenshots. And once you export your localization catalog, this new content is neatly organized in the notes directory, and the metadata plist consolidated into one per test target and device. And this is how easy it is to generate localized screenshots with Xcode 11 and test plans. And with this, I'd like to call Vivian back on stage to show you all of it in action.
Thanks, Arthur. So now that we've localized our app, we want to test those localizations. All right. So I've already created some UI tests for my project here. I have some here that will capture all of my screens, which I think would be really helpful for giving to my localizers for context. And I have another test that just zips in there and gets a picture of those nice vacation package images, which I think would be good for marketing. But I want to run all of these tests in all the localizations I support, and that could take some time, which is where test plans comes in handy. So you can add a test plan to your project like any other file, file, new file, and there's a template for it, so I can just search for plan. There it is. You can also migrate your existing tests to test plans. Now save time. I've already made one. So let's take a look. OK, so I have 2 test targets here. I have one that will run all of my screens test, and another that's just going to capture that marketing image. I also have some configurations set up. The important thing here is in the shared settings, localization screenshots is turned on. So I've got one configuration for English United States and another for Swedish Sweden. So since I just got those images in French, I'm going to add one for French. Just click plus. Let's call this one French, France. OK. And we will set the application language to French and the application region to France. OK. So now I think I'll rerun just the test to get that marketing image, so I can get a picture of those newly localized French images. So I go back to my UI test in order to run it. And now when I click the test diamond, instead of running my test once, it's going to run it with all of my configurations. And we can actually watch as it goes through all of these. So it's going to run 3 times. English, and then Swedish, except my localizers aren't done, so we're probably going to see some English strings again. And then one last time in French. And I know that this will work because I used accessibility identifiers, like Arthur said. So my test will work with all 3 language configurations. All right, here we go again. French, OK, great. So let's see what we got here. If I look at the test that I just ran, OK, I can see it ran with all my configurations. And if I check out French and look at my attachment, beautiful. So I can use this one for marketing. But my localizers are waiting for an update on Swedish so that they can finish that. So I need to send them a fresh Xcode localization catalog. And I want to make sure that they get that really tricky start string right. So let's make sure they get a screenshot. I ran my test earlier to capture all of my screens. So if I look at the Swedish one, let's see if we can find that tricky start string. I think it's down in here. Yeah, there we go. OK, so they haven't translated start yet or end. They got travelers. And also in here, I have that plist with the frame information, which should be useful. So I'm now ready to export an Xcode localization catalog. Select the project, go to Editor, Export Localization. And this time, I'm going to do Swedish. And importantly, I'm going to click Include Screenshots. All right, Xcode has found I have 19 screenshots available. Let's see exactly what I have here. If I click Customize, I can see I ran my tests with iPhone 8 Plus, 10R, and 10S. So if there's any layout issues, that might catch some of those. OK, I'm definitely going to keep all of those. And now I'm ready to export. OK. So now if I look at my new localization catalog, now in the notes directory, I have screenshots. And here I can see I have all of my screenshots organized by test target and device. So actually, I'm going to pull the marketing ones out for later and just send the rest to my localizers. So we look in here, we can see I have all of my screenshots. OK, there's that tricky start string. And actually, worse than start, you can see in this one screenshot, we have the string book 1, 2, 3 times. So that plist with the frame information is going to be really useful. And this is the consolidated plist. So it has the frame information for all of the strings captured in this entire set of screenshots. So that'll be really handy, because now when I'm a localizer, I can open the catalog in my favorite localization tool. And now I can preview where a string shows up. And not only can I see one place where a string shows, it will show me all of the screenshots that captured a given string. So my localizers are going to be thrilled. All right, let's wrap things up. So today we saw how users can run your app in a different language than their system language. We saw a bunch of improvements to the localization tooling in Xcode, including faster export of interface builder files, a new string stick rule, how easy it is to localize your settings bundle, and of course, how you can now localize images right in your asset catalog. We also saw how you can generate localized screenshots with your tests and some of the uses for those screenshots. For more information, please visit our page on developer.apple.com. And if you have any questions, come see us later in the labs. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of the conference.